getting the first pick.
Get three, Pyro, get three with the
Void Kid putting on a clinic. Whole team's down. Oh!
Experience tranquility.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Overwatch Tranquility. We are here in the Tranquility Community Season 8. We're here with a knockout stage in Week 4 between the number 3 seed Uzumaki and the number 4 seed Billings Boomers. The winner here goes on to face the loser of Decapitators versus Battalion, a veteran match coming up very soon, and the loser is eliminated. There's one team coming out of this match, and we are here to find out which one it is. I am K-Wang, and I'm here with Gizmo Charmander, of course, with Kizzo on the production. So, Gizmo, which one of these teams do you think is going to be making it out of this match?
Oof. Well, for those who have been in the community for a while know that I coach a team called Chrysalis, and there is a Joey Esports team that has eliminated my kids in the playoffs the last 2 seasons. So, personally speaking, I would love it if Uzumaki won, but I really haven't been able to keep up with the Transcendence tier, this season. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm just as clueless as anyone else. But I really look forward to it because I do enjoy doing these matches. And I know NPCs in the comments already saying map 7, map 8, because for those of you who don't know, when I cast in the playoffs, we go past map 5. So it's going to be a long night for sure.
Absolutely. So we're going in here. I'm looking at the predictions right now, and it looks like the Billings Boomers are just, everyone's predicting them. There's 24,000 Tranquility Bucks going their way versus only about 4 for Uzumaki. So definitely have a community favorite here.
Yeah, I mean, when you've had, an organization play in this league or in this tournament so many times and they've built such a great reputation, it's not hard for people just to follow along with the org themselves. So it's no surprise there that the community is really backing them up. Plus, I think this season they've shown probably a stronger suit as far as the record goes. So it's no wonder that they're the favorite.
I can't help but agree. Obviously, they're the favorite here, so I'm pretty excited to see that as we look to get into the lobby, into Transcendence. The playoff results of these two teams, I think, are pretty interesting. For Uzumaki, they did have a forfeit loss versus Zeus, but they've come back pretty strong, including a 3-1 win over Vengeance, and crucially, I would say, a 3-2 victory over Arcadia. Now, the Billings Boomers started off with a 3-0 loss to Arcadia and then beat out Rat Society and Zeus to get to where they are today. So both these teams losing pretty early on, it seems, and then dipping down into the into that loser's bracket. The Billings Boomers as well did 3-0 defeat Zeus the team that sent Uzumaki into the loser's bracket, but Zeus also, that was a forfeit loss, so the game was not.
Unlucky there, but hey, you know what? That free night of practice makes perfect. Might be the difference tonight. So we're going to get ready to see. K-Wing, why don't you tell us what map we're going to be starting on?
We are going to the Greek map, the homeland of Reddit Lucios and clutch hog hooks alike. We are going to be the windmill city of Ilios here for our first King of the Hill map.
Awesome. You know, Ilios is a great time for everybody, depending on what section of the map you're on. You know, you've got the well where everyone loves to, you know, play Brain Dead Overwatch, which, you know, we're getting close to not having that anymore when we go to the 5v5. But we're still in this, you know, 6v6 here, so everyone likes to play a lot of fun things. But now that we're in the Transcendence tier, these teams will be playing serious. So we're going to see something along the lines of dive or standard brawl. And it's going to be interesting to see what they pull out.
My friend, Brain Dead Overwatch does not have an SR limit, and it does not go away in 5v5. I think if we learned anything from the Overwatch 2 beta, it was that Brain Dead Overwatch does not have a player count. But it'll happen whenever. It'll always happen.
Yeah. It's amazing, but you know, I think one thing that everyone's starting to look forward to is these new map types. So just gotta, you know, power through it just a little bit more. I hope you were able to enjoy the beta as much as I was. So it's going to be really interesting to see. Plus, you know, all these CEC movies are being taken out, except for the characters you typically would play here on Ilios. You know, you still have the Hog Hook, you'll still have Lucio Boop. But granted, now you got the Zen Kick, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens when we get there.
I really cannot wait. I want to see, if we do go to Overwatch 2 for the next season of Overwatch Tranquility, I want to see our first This Is Sparta moment from a Zenyatta just winding up and kicking someone into the well. Just sending someone into Brazil.
Oh, yes.
It'll be funny. Come on.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely gonna be great. You know, no one ever expected the man himself that never used his legs to finally use it for more than just doing a little 20 damage there. I mean, knocking people off. I've watched some really amazing streamers lately just pop off while it was going on, but it's gonna be very interesting to see when it becomes live in the actual game.
Mess with the Zen, it will be your end. Just waiting here for that. For the game to start. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties and a bit of delays as we look to get in. I'm pretty excited. I think if I had to personally predict, I think I'd go with the Billings Boomers. That would be my prediction here. But I really do think, like I said, it's the 3rd seed and the 4th seed here coming in. You have the 3rd seed Uzumaki and 4th seed Billing Boomers. So it's very close. I really do think it could go either way.
Yeah, it really can. But, you know, I think typically speaking, the first map, especially when it's King of the Hill, both teams will show a very strong showing like we usually see throughout the season. There's never really a one-sided when it comes to the King of the Hill. It's going to be the 2nd and 3rd maps that's really going to show us who the stronger the two teams are. So I look forward to seeing a very close first map here, but I'm telling you right now, we got to wait for that. So
good things come to those who wait. And we're really waiting for this. We're really waiting for this. But I do think, you know, we're just building up the. We're just building up the suspense, you know. We're crafting. We're building it up. We're giving you just a little taste, and soon it'll come. Trust in me.
So, I think one thing that the team, also, now that we're coming closer to the end of season 8, Tranquility, and I've been personally a part of this community now for 6 of the 8 seasons, which has been awesome. You guys
Wow.
have been, well, I think Kizzo's new, but K Wing, you've been here now for what, 4 seasons, I believe? 3 or 4?
Probably something like that. It's crazy, man.
It's awesome. But it finally looks like we're, looking to see what's happening here. We got the team settled in, and wait, I never realized though there is a storm on the side of Billing Boomers. So I thought that was my captain for a second. I was like, wait, where'd you get up to Transcendence tier?
It's just Storm on the side. You're like, wait a minute. Are you the? No, you're not.
Yeah, you're not the correct one. Although the role would be DPS according to the lineup. So Storm, if you're watching this, please send me proof that it's not you.
Yeah, we're gonna need. Has anyone seen Storm and Storm in the same room together? I didn't think so.
No.
Open your eyes, people.
Well, then, I think, and then you also had, like, last season, you had a retro in Harmony and a retro in Discord. So it's always funny to see how many, like, people use the same gamer tags, but might change a little bit different. Like maybe the O's a 0 or like a 3 instead of an E. So I love, when we did the old version of the beat drop where we had the whole team together and we were just doing it as a podcast, not like with the video. It was always fun getting to hear the stories behind, gamer tags such. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I believe we're about to get in. If we had a little more time, I would have just been like, why not? Let's go through our gamer tags and share why we made them. But I think, crossing my fingers, chat. I think we're getting in. Nope, absolutely not. Okay, I'll go first.
well, I think we can go to a little short break while we're waiting for these teams to ready up, and we'll come back to you as soon as we're good to go.
I guess we'll go to a short break and we'll see you guys then. Okay, bye. And
Lost.
that's how I got it. We're back.
All right, so here we are on Ilios. It is starting off on Lighthouse here. So typically speaking, what teams like to run on Lighthouse is either a standard brawl or I know these teams are messing with me right now. I'm not even going to tempt fate on it. Or like with the sim, which we do see the sim coming out, so they kind of want to hold that point. Now, what I do find interesting though is Uzumaki. If they're going to stick with the Orisa brawl has been kind of strong in the last few seasons of competitive and in the Overwatch League after it was discovered last season. So it's going to be very interesting to see that. And then you have straight up dive with the Genji, which Billing Boomers, thank you. We don't get to see Genji enough, but here we are heading on to the point. It looks like Carrot's team, the Uzumaki, will be able to reach there pretty quickly thanks to that sim teleport.
Yeah, the sim TP always helps you get good position on the point early, as we see the Billings Boomers just kind of sitting out. There comes the dive. That's a huge anti-nade from the Billing Boomers, getting 4 people. There go the supports, and Uzumaki are just getting swept up like it is cleanup, and they're the floor.
Yeah, that was a massive nades coming from Silver Tails. Like, just a huge play by the Ana, which opened up, because typically speaking, dive into a brawl, especially into a tight room, isn't the greatest, but that nade just allowed so much value to come out from the dive, and they were able to just clean sweep and take the point first go.
Absolutely, that is exactly what you want from your Ana, just hitting those clutch anti-nades. That turned the fight around. You had that early point from the, and there is the anti-nade again. You have to play really careful against these teams. A little bit of a missed jump there from the Winston. Genji going to go in, will get that first pick, but still there. Ana up top. Even gets D-Max, throws out the nano onto the Winston. The blade comes out. It's going to get picked onto the Brig. And going to get the BAP as well. The supercharger. Everyone will be sliced and diced as we fade in to someone dead in the pit.
Yeah, that honestly was actually a really good fight for Uzumaki, except for the fact that they did use 3 ults there. They used the Primal, they used the Nano, and the Blade, but they were able to retake the point so quickly that it doesn't really matter. Now, they do have ults on the, ready, where the Billing Boomers don't, so it's going to be up to the Billing Boomers to get an early pick, which they do!
They do, and more. They get 3-4 just to wipe the floor with them. I can't even cast.
Yeah, right now this dive is looking really strong here, and this is where you kind of got to think, do you stick with the Orisa brawl? I know they do have the Bongo coming up, but it might be better to switch over to Ryan, because then if you group up, at least you know your team won't be able to easily dive targets because you can swing instead of the short little poke you get from Orisa. So it's going to be all that, but they got to play this next fight very carefully. They got to use their ults just right in order take the point, because we're getting close to that last fight territory, and they have the ults to do it, while Billing Boomers have been doing a decent job of rotating, but early picks.
Oh, the Winston goes down, the Diva Bomb gets thrown in. There's the tactical visor. It will find the Cassidy on the side of Uzumaki. I think it'll take down the High Noon as well. Pulse Bomb gets thrown out and nothing for it. Diva Bomb up now for Wings, going to be next. Their counterpart, the Brig, goes down. So does the BAP of Uzumaki. The Blade pulled out as a bit of a celebration at this point, as it looks like that'll be it. Uzumaki, 99 or 100 to 29, I believe, or 28. Pretty solid performance here for Billings Boomers.
Yeah, the only thing I can say that Uzumaki did wrong there on that last fight was Carrot held on to the Bongo way too long. The Bongo should have probably been one of the earlier ones picked out, because then you can use a lot of damage. Bongo's a great ult to not only force a lot of damage out, but also force a lot of abilities out. And then it was just sitting targets. Like I said, maybe instead of using the Bongo, they should have switched off earlier to a Reinhardt. Reinhardt's a little bit stronger on that point, particularly in my ideas. So, but Storm with a huge visor at the end, and let's just be honest, Silvertails has been amazing on the Ana, getting massive nades and great nanos to save their main tank. So here we are. We're going to see a regular brawl coming out from Billing Boomers versus a Hammond dive, which is something you don't really see too often, but it's really great, especially if your Sombra and your Tracer can really sync up with the Hammond slams. Get some really good hacks off. It should be easy pickings for the side of Uzumaki, but they got to be careful now that they're going against this Reinhardt.
The Ball Diva Dive is a fairly deadly composition. Reinhardt going to go very low for Billings Boomers. That's a huge boop there from Carrot, slamming everyone onto the ground. They're just caught in that corner, and Uzumaki have all the say in where they're going. They're just caught in there. Uzumaki have just put baby in a corner there, and Carrot is just waiting. That is a huge slam from the Wrecking Ball, throws in the mines, and where do you go? Where do you go? If you're Uzumaki, if you're Billings Boomers, you have to force your way out, and somehow they did. The Diva! The Diva kills both the supports, and no, it was so good. It was so good.
That was a really good play, though, by the Billings Boomers. Even though they were kind of clustered into that cubby, it gave them the advantage because they are on the brawl, which means in order to attack, Uzumaki has to dive into them, separate them, which is not easy, especially for Wrecking Ball. If it was maybe a Winston, you could play on the high ground, just tickle cannon onto them, but unfortunately, because they're on the ball here, it wasn't as easy. And, you know, they forced the window out, they used their own minefields, and now they have the EMP here, and with this kind of comp, there's not really much to come in, and here comes the EMP, massive, getting 5.
EMP is huge, but they didn't get the Lucio. That is the play that you have to be on. If you don't get that Lucio and they have the beat, you are just not going to find success, and there it is again. The Reinhardt swinging for the fences, getting the Earth Shatter off, and it's just the Billings Boomers.
Now, I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one. It's not that you have to get the Lucio, it's just you have to make sure you pick a target. Because if you're running the Zen, you have the Discord Orb, and if all 6 players on Uzumaki focused one individual target, they would have been able to out-damage the beat and be able to get that pick and have the advantage. But unfortunately, they weren't able to because the setup wasn't just quite there. And now they're coming in, once again, to 2-fight territory, and no ults except for Diva Bomb and Minefield and Rally, which, to be fair, can be good, but they have to, you know, major out the Blizzard.
Can't lose their ball that early. That's just over, and now they're just gonna get run down by the Reinhardt charging in, taking out that Zen.
Yeah, that was just an easy little cleanup fight for Billings Boomers. Now they have the ults coming in. The switch over to Echo is, you know, not a bad idea from Uzumaki, but I just don't know the follow is going to be. Now they still have the same ults, where the window comes out early, forcing the rally.
Bomb goes into the back line, and oh!
Oof. This is a C9. Unlucky.
Oh, Gizmo. Oh, Gizmo. Gizmo. No.
Well, Billings Boomers so far are showing why they are the favorite tonight with that strong display on King's on Ilios. So kudos to Billings Boomers. They played their strengths. I think the only thing Uzumaki could have done differently, besides maybe a little better ult tracking from the looks of it, is maybe switch up their comps a little quicker. Carrot probably shouldn't have stuck on the ball. It's just hard to play a dive, especially on an open map like Ilios, into a brawl. If they were playing something else, you probably could have taken a lot more advantage of it, but they were just so stuck together, it made it really hard. And the Brig Zen, I mean, it's a strong comp, but particularly on like a King of the Hill map, I wouldn't say that would be my first choice. But, you know, they're trying to play to their strengths like every team does in this league, this tournament. So kudos to them. And it's going to be a rough start for the Uzumaki, but I have faith in them. We're coming up on Hanamura next, so this is where Brawl takes over, typically speaking, but Carrot hasn't really shown a Reinhardt yet, so maybe they just hide in the Reinhardt in their back pocket, or maybe they have like a strategy with the Ball here on Hanamura, because first point and second point aren't bad points for Ball. It just depends on who your other tank is.
Yeah, the Ball Diva dive absolutely can work. We've seen it work all throughout Tier 4. I've been looking a lot at the team G-Force has been dominant, pretty much only using that Ball Diva strategy. Ball Diva strategy absolutely can work, but your Tracer and your Sombra play like flankers. At that point, you tried to disrupt the positioning of your enemy team, and you can take it to some of the best brawl teams. I'm talking this Team GeForce have, like, teams like that have gone against OWL players and done incredibly well. So I think this ball diva strategy can work. Absolutely, but they need to play it pretty well, and they've somewhat fallen short there, especially against the rush competition. I want to see more flank play from the Tracer and from the Sombra.
Yeah. I also think, I mean, obviously we can't hear their comms currently, but I think that right now the comm structure going for the Billing Boomers it just seems stronger because the ult tracking on the Sombra EMP was great. Being able to follow up with, Shatter or Bomb and the windows coming out, it just seems like they're a little better organized here. Where Uzumaki have used ults in great spots, but they haven't had any follow ups or everyone's kind of focusing different targets here. So I don't know, maybe the target focus is just off tonight, or if it's just they were changing stuff up in the comm structures, but you can definitely see it in the fights currently going on.
Yeah, I'm interested about the Hanamura map pick here because, like we said, Hanamura is where Brawl reigns supreme. If you wanted to play more of that, maybe Orisa Diva competition, you could go into a map more like Temple of Anubis or what have you, but they've chosen Hanamura, and I'm interested to see specifically the comp they want to bring out. I'm not sure what side they're going to be on. It looks like Billing Boomers have chosen to stay on their same side, unless the sides on the top will get reversed. So it will be Uzumaki attacking first. But I'm very interested to see what specifically led them to that choice.
Well, Hanamura is actually not a bad map, especially on defense, to run the Diva and Orisa together. You could run it with a Torbjorn and an Ashe, or Soldier, a Cassidy. There's a lot of different options you can run here on this map. And like I said, we did see Carrot on the ball too. Ball isn't terrible on defense as well. It's just a matter of the engagement and priority targets when you're going through. So it's not really a matter of what they play, it's how they play coming up here. And personally speaking, if you're going to run into the other two maps, Temple of Anubis or Volskaya Industries, the comps kind of have to change up a little bit harder. Ball is great on all three maps, but the DPS lineup is where it really comes into play. If you're on Volskaya, the Sombra Tracer is still good, but in some cases it's better to run a Pharah, maybe with an Ana, and also the support line too. We saw them running the Zen Brig here. Zen Brig isn't going to cut it on the defense first, but if they run that Orisa and that Diva, they're probably going to be on, I'd say, Brig/Zen with the Baptiste. Or heck, they could even just come out with something crazy like a double flex supports with both Ana and Baptiste, trying to keep up everyone alive. So like I said, we're going to have to wait and see, but we're just waiting for the teams to confirm, and we'll let you know when we're in this map.
Seems like that's that just seems to be the theme of the day, is just waiting for the teams to get set up and get ready. Because sometimes they just need a little minute to make sure they're all ready and all set to go. So we're just stuck here waiting for them, but they will be back soon, I promise.
All right, so here we are. We're coming on Hanamura. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It seems we have a true NA host tonight because they just get lost in the messages of our amazing producer saying that prod is ready, and it's frustrating. Okay, I won't lie. I'm not even the producer, and I'm frustrated for them. So now that the teams finally know that we're ready, here we are coming on to Hanamura. Like I said, we're going to see. Ooh, look at that! Uzumaki on the Ball Diva with a Farah on defense. That's something new for me personally. You don't see that too often, but hey, you know what? We finally do get to see they are running that Farah here, so maybe they think that their defensive will be pretty good. But Billing Boomers, this comp right here, if this is what they're sticking on with the Orisa Hog. Okay, there we go to the Diva. Okay, they were messing with us. I was about to say, it seemed like an interesting, but you know what? I'm not going to put it past them. I feel like they could pull something like that off. But it looks like now they're starting to swap into that natural brawl comp as we see Storm switch over to the Symmetra, which I was going to mention a little bit earlier. You know, typical speaking. But they are sticking on the Genji here, so maybe they feel like, oh, there goes the Mei. Okay. Last seconds, right, folks? It was almost like we were wanting a Bastion. So we're going to see them come here, try to teleport either on top of somebody or on the point. Personally speaking, with what they're going against, I'd probably go straight to point here, just because you want to negate the most damage.
And there they are, on the point. If anyone, they're able to contest here. The wall does come up over on the middle very late, but this is what you want to see. The ball just trying to stay alive as they're chased around. And it will be the first hit going to Billing Boomers without a drop, without even a dent of a pick coming through, and it'll be the second tick as well going through. The ball being the only one able to stall, gets frozen, gets taken down, and then just so much pressure there. The Farah throws in the barrage. A lot of pressure coming into Uzumaki. The healing is there. The beat comes in. This has been an ultra fiesta, and it's the first fight of the game, but all the picks are going the way of Billing Boomers, as Uzumaki just sort of trickle on the point 1-on-1.
Yeah, although Uzumaki was able to get a few picks, and they still are bringing out this stall out thanks to Carrot being on the ball, being able to get back. It looks like they might be able to just stall long enough, but all that's left is support, and there it goes. I mean, that was unlucky for Uzumaki. They had to pop both DPS ults in order to like try to stall long enough, but it just doesn't matter. If I was them, I'd honestly switch up this comp, but I know that they're not going to because they do have these ults coming up. I mean, Solid's almost got a whole new bop, so that's massive coming out from the Ashe. Raj isn't there just because, you know, when Azu lost the Farah, you just can't revive in that kind of situation there, so now it's going to be even more difficult to hold on the second point here on Hanamura. And right now, Billing Boomers only had a used window there, so they have, you know, 4 major ults coming up here. This should be easy, but this far into the backline is going to be massively distorting them.
Oh my gosh, the Lucio is the first call. You use a lot of that mobility there for everything, and now they're just torn apart by this Ashe on the high ground. They're basically turned it around, Uzumaki.
Yeah. That's where the Billing Boomers played into the advantage of Uzumaki. They're playing a more poke comp. It's not a dive comp like you would think just because you have the 2 dive tanks. So Carrot and Wings needs to get the attention from Billing Boomers like we saw, and you just have Farah barraging them and belting them in the back while Solid throws nice dynamite. So now they're going straight to the point, pop this window, and force them to come onto point instead of following them.
A lot of ults there. There's the barrage. It'll find 2, the Rhine of the BAP, and that is the core of that rush competition. The Rhine and the BAP, you got those 2, and it's just all gonna be over. The slam!
Okay. That made more sense. But I will point out, though, the Billing
My
Boomers
heart.
were able to get a takeout. But now they're going to go to a more poke comp to kind of mirror match it. Probably going to stick on that Diva. I don't know. We did see the bomb was used as well. So it's going to be, yeah, okay, they're going to go to double shield to play more poke to kind of negate the damage from the Pharah, because you're going to have to force the Pharah to take even better angles and solid as well on the Ashe. It's going to be very interesting. Now, my question is Storm going to be able to hit the shots on the Cassidy to take out both the Pharah and Azu from getting the res? Or is this Hanzo going to be able to help them out? But right now, they really need to get that high ground control in the kit at this point.
I'm curious as to why that ball was floating there. The flashbang goes in onto the Pharah, but the Pharah is nanoed, takes down the Hanzo, takes down the Bap, and it is a day at the shooting range. And, well, the Pharah packs some rockets.
And you know, honestly, I know a lot of people probably in the chat are thinking, hey, you know, Billing Boomers gave up some great ults there. But I think the switches were necessary. They also forced Uzumaki to pop a bunch of ults there. But I'm going to point out, right now, because of this damage boost Pharah, we have another barrage after that fight that literally just happened, popping barrage. Now, they did use the nano, so they don't have to worry about that. But they have Bomb and Bob as well to come out, and Valk pretty soon as well. So Uzumaki's really been doing a great job being able to rotate their ults here. And here comes a barrage once again.
The Orisa is going to find the first pick, but Azu is next to fall. 2 down from Uzumaki. Now you have to see some miracle work come out from this Pharah, as immediately they're chased down by the Diva. Have to really be perfect here. The anti-nade goes in onto the Orisa. The Orisa is going to fall for Billings Boomers. There comes the immortality field from Silvertail, trying to keep everyone up. Azu goes down again. But these picks that are coming in, oh, there it is. There is Murashima coming in with the Doom Fizz, gonna pick up 3. They're so good. They're so good.
That was great stall hold coming from Uzumaki there. I think switching off the Pharah to the Doom Fizz to help get a real quick pick was a smart idea, because you can give up the ult charge on the Pharah after you pop the barrage there if it means holding the point. They still kept them from even getting a centimeter more on the second tick on the second point here. So that was actually a major hold. They do not have any ults here, and they have to worry about both Deadeye and the rally coming out. But you know what? If I was Uzumaki, I feel comfortable. Carrot can really do a great displacement coming out with this minefield that just was released.
Minefield.
And there it is, getting the
It
pick.
gets the Deadeye! It gets the Deadeye! Oh no! The Cassidy popped the Deadeye and was just in the middle of a minefield. It doesn't matter if it's high noon, if you're standing in a minefield, my guy. Oh, that's not good. That's exactly what you want to see, though, as now the Ashe, as now Bold is living up to the name, absolutely popping off.
Yeah, what a great job. And like I was saying, that displacement from the minefield, Carrot knew what they needed to do and did it. Very well executed. And unfortunately for Storm, like my own captain, popping Deadeye at the worst possible times. But now Billing Bombs Boomers have 5 ults online, where Uzumaki only has the Bob to contest. They are coming up close on Nano. Here comes the bomb.
Early Bob, that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see, when you have that ult advantage, you need those ults to come out early, and you need them to be effective. Bob will go down. It is a bit of a delay. The Nano is coming soon. Will it be able to have... Oh, the pick onto the Diva comes in early. The Echo will go down so close to the ult. Throws in the Nano onto the Diva. And the Diva is going to find the pick, all coming through. And Uzumaki, after a disastrous point A, have a 6 or so minute hold on point B.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen? Even though they took forever to respond to us, they were coming up with a nice game plan here. So this is a very winnable map. This Uzumaki team seemed more constructively better. They seemed like they looked like they were focusing great targets. The disposition from Carrot on the ball was great. Like I said, I wasn't expecting that defense to do well, at least when it came to first point, but second point, you know, you force them to pick a route, and if you don't take the high ground from the Ashe, it's going to be free picking. The Pharah does too much damage, and then once you popped all those ults, it's easy swaps because you got the easy spawn advantage when it comes to 2 CP on defense. Now I'm curious to see how they're going to do here coming out on attack, because they are going to still run this ball and this Diva, because it just seems like that's Carrot and Wings. favorite two tanks to play with. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, they did a great job. However, they're going to be coming into a Torben Ashe poke with an Orisa Diva, so it's not going to be as easy here. So it's really going to be up to maybe Bold or Echo getting like an early random pick, maybe even NZK or NZX as well. You know, Zenyatta can sometimes find a lucky early pick too. And if I was a betting man, the early pick I would want the best would be the Mercy, just so you don't have to worry about the res. But even if you don't get the Mercy and you get the res out, at least you know you have the res advantage coming into the second points here. So it's going to be rotating slowly and try to get rid of that turret as quick as they possibly can, and hopefully the low hills will be just enough.
We'll have to see then. As already, I am very excited for the Marissa on the Echo. They were absolutely cracked last time. Bold, well, these DPS did absolutely incredibly on the hold, but that's not good. As Storm finds the flying Echo and just grounds them for a little bit. Coach gun on the ball. I almost thought that was going to take him down. The Torb turret will go down eventually by N2X. The Zenyatta over here coming in a little bit of contest on the point. You want to see, I do want to see some pressure put onto the point from Uzumaki here, as Azu and Marissa try and go in onto that target, the dive target. The Ashe comes in, goes down. You saw exactly how that happens. The Discord orb is crucial, and N2X just barely staying alive. 20 HP in a dream there, but now Uzumaki feel free to go to the point. Murasama is going to go down, but gets revived instantly, dying in a good spot up in that window, gets the kill onto the Baptiste, a bit left a bit vulnerable there as a bit of a pincer attack comes in from both sides. You thought you were safe, you're not safe, you're dead, Baptiste.
Yeah, like I said, they needed to play that a little slow, get in position, and get that pincer attack like you just stated. So that was a really great play from Uzumaki. Now they have the ult advantage. The only thing, but I shouldn't really say that too much because Billing Boomers are coming up on all their ults, minus the tank ults, but they're not too far behind. But still, if they get an early pick, the early res, unfortunately, on Bold, is going to be a setback, but it shouldn't be too much for them because they should be able to stabilize. Now it's just a matter of being able to ult correctly and, rotate the ult so that way this fight, because all they need is a tick in half. So if they get one clean team wipe, it should be point for them.
That should be, there comes the Dragon Strike from Bold, putting a lot of pressure in there. Already the Focus team gets the kill onto the Ashe. The Immortality Field is used, goes down. There's the Minefield and the Molten Core onto point. None Park just so low, going to have the Resurrection come in onto the Orisa, barely staying alive. The Echo goes down. The Mercy will get a kill on the bat, mess with the Doc, get the Glock, but even still, those picks that came in from the Billings Bombers will be enough for them to hold.
Yeah, that was a great hold from the Billing Boomers. Uzumaki, I think, used the correct ults, but I don't think they rotated in the correct way. They should have probably tried to force the high ground first. That way, Bold's, Dragon, which was able to get a nice early pick. Ooh, sniper.
Talking about early picks, that's not good. You really have to stay alive for that Mercy. And losing that is so much more impactful for Uzumaki than it's going to be for the Billings Boomers. Now we have the duel between Bold on the Tracer and Storm on, Bold on the Hanzo and Storm on the Tracer. I messed up heroes there. A little bit of speed, but already Uzumaki has multiple ults and they're just waiting for a chance to use them. Bold going to win the duel between them and the Tracer. There's the bomb coming in off the top. Their copy comes in onto the Orisa. Might have been a bit of a misclick there. There comes the Dragon Strike from the Hanzo, just waiting for something, and that looks like a team wipe for Billings Boomers, just trying to stall out and make sure everything and try and keep this point alive, but Uzumaki will even us up with a strong showing.
Yeah, I don't think the Orisa was a bad pick, because if you're able to get that bongo off, that's a lot of extra damage. Plus, you had the Valkyrie come out as well, so that's a lot of extra damage. The cool thing about when you're running a Orisa Mercy here is that if you have Valk and bongo out at the same time, it's free damage boost, and your Mercy can focus on supporting your teammate with healing, right? So you get the damage boost and the heals at the same time. That's just tremendously, murderous intent right there coming out from the side of Uzumaki. So I think that was a really great copy. Plus, when you're looking at a comp that's focused more on poke than you are on anything else, you probably could have copied the ball or something like that, or copied, maybe the Ash or something like that. But I think having that presence on point with an extra shield, especially on second point, Hanamura, is just more valuable, because then you can block off the off angles that like the Tracer and the Ash are trying to get. So then you're, a little more protection. Plus, it's a lot longer life because you had that Fortify as well on the Orisa. Now, of course, once again, folks, when we get to Overwatch 2, we won't have to worry about that extra shield, will we? So it's really cool. Now that, the series is tied up 1-1, this is what we wanted to see, right? I can already see NPC saying map 5, map 5, map 6. But as we come to these next few maps, it's going to be a lot harder to get those draws. So maybe these teams might break my curse. Maybe they won't. Who knows?
Who knows indeed. All I know is we're going to be going to a short halftime, and when we get back, we're going to see if Uzumaki can keep this winning streak going, if Billing Boomers is going to bring it back, or if we're just going to go to a map number N, a map infinity, what have you, because Gizmo's here, and that seems to be just what always happens. So we will see you very shortly.
reason to stop.
And we're back.
Say I
Hello.
hit rock bottom.
Hey, Gizmo, are you okay? We're here
I'm great.
with Uzumaki and Billings Boomers, 1-1 right now, and we're doing great. We're both doing incredible. I know I am.
Oh yeah, it's actually been a really fun match to watch here. I was a little worried and skeptical when we saw Billings Boomers dominate on Ilios, but Uzumaki I think they got their stuff together and were able to pull out a huge victory for them on Hanamura, which is not an easy map to defend the second point at all. I mean, it's been a while personally for me since I've casted a game where one team was not able to get the second point. Usually either one team stops the other team from getting the first point, or both teams get second point and we're going to overtime, but we didn't have that. We had Billings Boomers kind of roll in the first fight, but then got held up about 5-minute hold from Uzumaki on the second point. We're only able to get a takeout. So that was actually pretty massive here. We're coming on Nubani. Once again, this is a map where that ball is very strong here. You know, typically speaking, most teams, because of all the high ground and stuff, you typically want to run a dive composition. But if you're on defense, you can get away running the Arista Diva like we do see from Uzumaki coming out here. Now, a difference, though, we see the Torbjorn with the Cassidy coming out from this as well, which I feel is actually a stronger defensive hold compared to the Ashe, just because Cassidy can give a little more protection to your Baptiste or your Brigida. You know, just depending on what it is, because most teams like to run a dive here, so you want to have as much crowd control abilities as you can possible. You're not really worried about Carrot getting dove because they have the Fortify. You're not really worried about Wings getting dove because they can fly away. And Torbjorn has the overdrive here. So I think it's a great play coming up here. Plus, going up against the Genji, which they do not know is coming out, Torbjorn just makes it that much easier for Uzumaki here on this defense. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Billings Boomers play it slow here, trying to build up that Nano, maybe get Nano Winston or the Nano Blade here, but they're going to have to find a way to take care of this turret. It's not going to be that easy considering they're running a Brigida instead of a Zenyatta. You don't really have that poke and able to destroy the turret.
Yeah, already you can see the ult charge for the Torbjorn climbing here already, almost 50%. And now the Diva's going to drop down to contest this point. Definitely the right choice there is that Diva is able to, if necessary, if the going gets tough, the tough are going to get going. And you can see that just that happened there as the focus starts to get a little bit too rough. And already just keeping it tail on the point here just to keep it contested. There's the headshot from the Cassidy. Another kill from Bold onto the Billings Boomers. And Uzumaki have seen a complete turnaround since Ilios.
Yeah, and you know that was a great call out. The Diva contesting point is the smart move because when you're running like a Brigida and a Baptiste, all you have to do is just pump the heals into the Diva, and they can stay, on point as long as they can, and allow your team to rotate the setup to be able to beat a dive like they are. And now they have the ult advantage coming in. The remake just happened, so we've got the mech advantage as well. And of course the recall, massive with the Nano.
The Nano on to Winston. There's some Primal Rage. This could be deadly, but 2 kills already. Everyone is already inside. They have taken shelter against the Category 5 Monkey that has come out, and it is just another one fight for Uzumaki. A lot of ults come out for Billings Boomers.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Billings Boomer, they did use a Nano, so they do not have Nano Blade here. And, Azu has that rally. They have immortality. They have the ability to survive a blade attack. So it's really going to depend on Billings Booming's ability to dive the same target at once. Otherwise, this blade's probably not going to be able to find anything here. And it's going to feel like, 3 wasted fights.
Yeah, and they're getting down now because it is now 2 minutes remaining. They're halfway through this attack, and if they can't find any foothold, they might be out of luck to go any further in this map, and they might have to turn it around. There comes the rally early on to match the rally from Uzumaki. The Diva bomb comes in, does not catch anyone, and in fact, the demeched Diva will get taken out by a well-placed whip shot. High Noon to reload, and the point! Oh no, dude. And they win the but oh. Pain.
That was a really great play from Billy Boomers, forcing the rotation and all that. And I just want to point out what a huge sleep from Silvertails, catching Bold with the Deadeye as they popped it. Oh my goodness, it was almost instantaneous as the Deadeye was forced from the Cassidy. So that was a major play. Now Uzumaki does have the ults. They can still kind of hold. This is where the dive becomes a little bit better too for Billy Boomers. So for Uzumaki, if you're not playing the high ground and you're not controlling it, you're giving up the advantage to the team that really thrives on being able to just dive onto the high ground. So Billy Boomers have these ults. They did use the blade. They do have nano, so you can nano monkey here. You don't have to worry about using the blade, and it's going to be massive play coming out. Deadeye's not able to find anybody, but the nano comes out and the trades happen.
The nano onto the Winston does not find any picks. There's the Diva Bomb going in up top. Not gonna find anyone, but the Cassidy will take down Azu on the brig, but it's just not enough. The point very close to the end here, but Uzumaki has learned from their mistakes. I think that's the second C9 they've had today in this match, but they are not letting it happen a third time. No, sir.
No, that was a great contest coming from the Uzumaki. They did use a lot of ults there, and Billy Boomers did match them with ults here. So right now, as far as the ult advantage goes, it's not terrible. Although I am looking at Uzumaki having a greater advantage that they have the Deadeye. It's a better zoning ult than the Winston Primal coming out. That will be coming out soon. So right now it's going to be slow fights, but they just got to make sure they don't do that C9 once again.
Oh! The reflected Deadeye comes in. Genji pulls out the Uno reverse card onto that Cassidy. Will be quickly just sweeping through Uzumaki. Just no hesitation here. The Diva Bomb will come out. It'll take out the Mercy, but it will be small potatoes compared to the Billings Boomers.
Yeah. And I was just about to say that maybe Uzumaki needs to switch off that Torb, because after the first point, it's kind of hard to set up Torb when you're getting absolutely forced. But Billing Boomers have the Nano Blade, they have the Primal, they have the Deadeye. And I think if Uzumaki didn't catch themselves with their own Deadeye there, that fight would have gone the other way, because losing the cast was just massive. But oh, what an early great pick right there, taking out the main tank and forcing the res.
Forcing the res, there's the nano, here comes the blade, the immortality, the Baptiste, all gone within a second. The Orisa goes too, and where the Orisa goes, so does the team. And this Genji picks up a double kill. The Deadeye coming out from Storm. A lot of ults used, a little bit of almost a zoning ult there. No, it kind of made that phrase into a meme. Point coming in closer and closer to the end. Uzumaki uses the window, trying to dish out as much damage, as much healing, crucially, as possible. And the triple kill! The triple kill Deadeye, including the reflect onto the brig. So a double kill, but you killed one of your teammates. So it's like really one kill net. Good job.
That was a massive play coming out from Bold. And the statement just gets stronger and stronger with each Deadeye just trying to force it. And now Billing Boomers are switching over to a standard brawl here as we see both the May and the Reinhardt come out, which I think is a great cause, because this next point right here, this last point, there's not too much high ground to dive, so you're not really worried about trying to contest either a Cassidy or Ashe, Soldier, whatever kind of hit scan. And here comes the bomb. Let's see if he's able to get anything.
It gets the Baptiste. That's huge. That is huge. Using the Baptiste is absolutely massive. You just suffer when you lose the Baptiste. You lose all of your healing, especially on this composition.
I'll have to give credit, though, to the Tracer using the Pulse Bomb to force out the early immortality, catching the Baptiste off guard, which would allow that bomb to get the pick it did, which initially won them the fight. Because once Baptiste goes down, Reinhardt can't really do much because there's just not enough healing. Even with Lucio speed, it doesn't matter if you can't sustain him long enough. And here comes the next fight.
Big wall from Billings Boomers there. The bomb from them coming out to the side. Hey, triple kill for the Billings Boomers. And there you go. That's exactly what they need. Almost a team kill there. And they cannot go in. That Earth Shatter is going to make sure of it. And round one going to Billings Boomers, 29 seconds, or I think it was 29 or 39 seconds, crucially under a minute here. So whatever happens, the Billings Boomers are either winning this map or we are going to extra rounds. Uzumaki cannot force them into that bad situation where they win by a minute or more and they're in overtime.
But
Crucially,
you know what though? I feel like if I'm Uzumaki, I feel some pressure off of me. Even though they did get the third point, being under that 29 seconds means regardless of having time bank left or not, you will get a chance for a final attack. So that's massive here. But I gotta say, the Baker left that bomb in the oven so long for the perfect timing. That triple kill was definitely, the game-winning fight right there on this first attack coming from the Billion Boomers. Now we get to see reverse. Uzumaki starting off with a standard brawl. Not necessarily my favorite choice here, particularly on Nubani, just because of all the high ground you have to cover and all that. But if you can catch your opponents off because they're thinking you're going to run a standard dive or maybe that ball comp, because we have seen Carrot run ball every map except for this one. If I was a betting man, I'd think, hey, we could probably just match them with a dive and just do that. But they're not going to see this ball coming. So if they stay on that high ground and let the Carrot on the Reinhardt just come up onto the Winston, it should be an easy rollover for Uzumaki, at least for first point. Then it's going to change. But I am questioning though. Bolt switched over to the Reaper here. This is not a brawl we haven't seen in quite a while. And maybe they're thinking, hey, they're going to be running this dive. Reaper's going to be great against this monkey.
they're doing an interesting rotation here to go up to high ground and really force the pressure onto this. But this Winston is playing it perfect. Absolutely tackling one. He was coming in, getting the poke, and getting out. Now dropping in onto point. The freeze goes in onto the D.Va. They get that focus. They get that D.Va D-Mac. Already, the Winston has the primal. Huge anti-nade coming out. We haven't seen it for a while. But an absolutely huge move there. Uzumaki still fighting here. They did get a few crucial picks. And that pick on the soldier is absolutely one of them. The D.Va does get remech, and the Reinhardt will go down. The pick on the Ana is huge, instant remech. D-Mac for the D.Va gets taken out, and somehow still Uzumaki looks like they'll be taking point A. Not though if Nunu has anything to say about it, and maybe they won't, not when this BAP has something to say about it. And despite the best efforts of Billings Boomers, Uzumaki stay on the point.
Yeah. I think Bold choosing the Reaper over the Cassidy was a great idea. They were able to really force that close fight, which was able to help melt down the Winston. Now we do see Uzumaki switching over to Brawl, Billing Boomers to switch over to the Brawl to mirror match. The only difference is you have the Cassidy instead of the Reaper. And
whoa, what is this position? What is this position? They have no idea. Billings Boomers have no idea. Oh, they're sneaking. It's like Metal Gear Solid. I can hear the theme in my head. Dun 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 dun. Here it comes. I am just quaking with the How did they get there? They snuck around the side. You thought it was Metal Gear Solid, but we in fact snuck around you. But they still get the fight win off of a few ultimates come out there. A few of them.
It may have been a few of them, but because of how quickly they were able to take out the team, they should be able to get this next point here regardless. And Billing Boomers don't have the ults because they had to make the swaps over to the standard brawl here. And let's be honest, Blizzard Storm's always a fun one to watch there. You haven't seen it in a while since about Season 3 of Overwatch League, so it's always great getting to see that Reaper May matchup.
Big walling off that Reinhardt. D.Va Bomb coming in backline to shatter as well. Gonna get the May, gonna get the Lucio. The pin comes in onto the Reinhardt, pinning them absolutely into Narnia. That was a interesting interaction there, but keeping it going there. 5 minutes on the clock for Uzumaki, and they're pushing up to Spawn Door challenge. Do it, Carrot, do it.
Yeah, absolutely keep them in that spawn here, because now that they've used all their ults, they have to watch out for the Shatter Bomb themselves. But they do have window here, so it is a chance for them to turn it around in case the Shatter gets a fat landing, but it's going to be very difficult here.
The window actually gets put up on the wall. It's completely gone. The bomb goes into the back line, and with all those ults, it's going to be tough for Uzumaki to weather the storm. Pun absolutely intended as a double kill for the May.
Yeah, what a great turnaround from Billing Boomers. They didn't have to use a Shatter there too, so that's really massive. So they do have an ult turnaround kind of ability coming up in this next fight here. But Uzumaki, don't really feel the pressure because they have 4 minutes left on the clock here. Losing that one fight is not that bad because they have Blizzard coming up. They have Death Blossom, so they have that Blizzard Storm coming up once again. They have the Shatter coming up. I mean, they have all the ults they need. Just wasting the window for that one fight is huge. And
oh, huge Shatter there comes in off the top to protect from the Blizzard, and Billings Boomers will stay alive and keep the hold going.
Yeah, what a great hold coming out from Billings Boomers there. Now they were able to force out the Mei ult. You still have to worry about Death Blossom. You have to worry about Bomb. But you know what? It's worth it. You're coming up on B. You're coming up on your own Death Blossom and Blizzard. Right now, the ult tracking and ult favor is in your court. It's just making sure you don't get catched off high pulls, amazing Death Blossoms that may come out here.
That is the point. There's the Diva Bomb. It takes down the BAP, and that is just not good now for Billings Boomers, just walking in and taking them out. Absolutely huge. That's like whoever's contesting there is huge there. That Lucio might have just, who's still contest? The Reaper. The Reaper stays on the contest. That's huge.
Yeah, what a major contestant coming out inside Billings Boomers is able to knock down into the 2-minute marker. All they have to do is fight off at least one more minute and it'll be a more winnable game. And here comes the B-Truck keeping out, but not able to find the right. Death Blossom, though,
kill,
making
Death
it.
Blossom. The double kill with the Death Blossom. Huge beat there from the Lucio to keep him alive. Oh, the Diva Stagger. Not the Diva Stagger.
You hate to see it if you're on the side of Uzumaki here. Man, is it a major stagger. At this point, you might want to try to make that trade happen.
Oh my gosh, that stagger was just brutal. So many ults lost that fight in Uzumaki's favor. Oh, that hurts. It hurts 4 ults for Billings Boomers as they come into this next fight. I'm nervous. I am so nervous if I am an Uzumaki fan because there's so many ults you have to deal with. There comes the Shatter. There goes the Bomb. Double kill. The Blizzard, though, comes out from Usama, and it'll get a pick on the Reaper, but you don't have your Ryan, you don't have your Lucio. You've lost the core of your team.
Yeah, Uzumaki really needs to slow down here and come up with a really great plan. They've been trying to use these ults, but they're just taking too long to use them. Billy Boomers are doing a great job early ulting the fight, forcing cooldowns, and be able to turn the fight around in their favor. That's how they were able to knock off almost 4 minutes entirely from the time bank of Uzumaki. Uzumaki really have been wasting ults left and right here because they've been using them way too late. They need to be early and be more aggressive. That's how you're going to beat this. In that early window right there might cost Billing Boomers, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah, early window, a little bit too early, but still, they do have the ult advantage into this next fight, but it's looking like it's going to come crashing down on them as Uzumaki are coming in very close on some major ults, like the Shatter. Early Blizzard there, as soon as they drop, they throw it in. The Fire Strike gets in, Shatter comes in, takes out a few. Uzama on the Mei. BAP goes down fairly even now, but Uzumaki looks to be getting the better side of these trades. The Mei not going to be able to freeze up the Cassidy. It doesn't matter, though, as their counterpart will take them down. The Diva Bomb comes out for the remake, not going to find any picks for themselves, but still, Uzumaki will win the fight. They have the Deadeye to keep things going as come in this next fight. We have the beat. Gonna get dropped for Billings Boomers as they rush in. Counter beat from Azu, who is the first to find a pick. The Immortality Field comes out. Deadeye from Bull. Will it find anything? The Shatter. 5 on the ground. There you go. And that is how you keep things alive for Uzumaki. It is no one left on the point. Overtime wick is there, but they will stay alive with a minute on the clock, but a minute and 39 for Billings Boomers.
That honestly was a huge win for Uzumaki there. Like I was stating, win Billing Boomers, because they were able to knock Billing Boomers down under that minute marker. That means there is a chance to win this map. Not to draw, to win it. So Uzumaki has to play a really strong attack and be able to aggressively push. Now, like I said before, I think the only thing that's holding them back so far in this series has been their ult control. They were doing great is like they start off great with their ult usage, but then they start trickling in and not paying attention to the kill feed. Once they lose too many people and they've wasted an ult or two, they're back at the drawing board trying to build those ults right back up. But as we see, both teams looks like they're going to come out starting on that brawl, and the Doomfist, I think, is a very interesting point here because it's kind of great to play this Doomfist. You're able to disrupt the Mei a little bit better. You're able to disrupt the Reinhardt and Diva and so forth. The only problem is that there's such a close quarter fight running the Doom Reaper that they have to play super fast, and if Billing Boomers realize it, they can play a little more pokey and let them come into them, and then the Doomfist loses the value. Okay, that's what I thought. They were debating between the two, and looks like they decided to go with the Mei here. So I think that's actually a stronger choice here because you can get major walls off, especially if you go the high ground. Personally, though, I'd go the low ground, force the point, try to get them to drop on you, and then as they drop on you, you have free swings and a lot of damage coming out from your team. And look at this. They are going that low ground. However, because of the scouting of the Baptiste, it's not going to be that easy. A huge wall coming out.
The wall. They're doing the same kind of rotation they did, but their Mei is going to get caught out. Oh, no! Oh, that's a huge boop there from Azu, taking the Reinhardt out of commission. And now Billings Boomers have lost a lot of their pressure. The Reaper, however, is going to go down as well. Azu on this Lucio, finding that boop, what every single Lucio player wants. But you have the Reinhardt coming back very shortly. Doomfist is going to get taken down. The Reinhardt goes down low, pops the ult, and Reinhardt just comes soaring in onto N2. K just coming in out from Narnia, saying Aslan says hello with a shoulder bash to your chin, my guy. No ticks for Uzumaki, and now the pressure is all on them. They can only draw. And if they do, I think they'll make Gizmo very, very sad.
I won't be sad for one more extra game. It's one more extra fun stuff. But no, seriously though, that was a great hold from Billing Boomers. Granted, I do feel for Uzumaki there. A minute on any kind of hybrid map is always hard to get that first tick or get the point itself. I think they did a great job. The only thing maybe differently they could have done instead of Bold being on the Reaper is probably play the Cassidy, just because you have a higher chance of getting an early pick due to the fact that you have the concussion grenade and you can stun away any damage coming out. So I think that's where Billing Boomers had the advantage. Now, this will be interesting. We're going to see that Diva and Orisa coming out from Uzumaki again with the Torbjorn. The Torbjorn I don't think is that very necessary here because if I was a betting man, which I'm not, but I always like saying it, I would probably assume Billing Boomers is going to start on that brawl, so I don't think the Torb is necessary. I mean, yeah, you get that 7th man turret, but honestly, all they have to do is just roll over one person, and that's it. So I probably would have mirror matched with the Mei, and yep, there we go. And it's not going to be too late for them to get to that point. So let's see what happens here.
Billings Boomers rolling out again on that more classic brawl comp. So I'm interested. They're doing a very similar strategy, going down below. Already the poke coming in, point starting to tick. Big flashbang as multiple people getting caught. No, Uzumaki. I'm done.
You know what? Uzumaki's chasing Sasuke back to the hidden mist village because they clearly cannot find the point here tonight, unfortunately. I think that's the third C9 we have seen from this team tonight alone.
That would be number 3. Yeah. Oh boy.
You hate to see it. You really hate to see it.
You hate to see it. I mean,
Billy Boomers must be listening to me because they did exactly what I said. Just go underground and force the point. Make them drop on you. Uzumaki didn't do that. They went high ground with no character that really requires the high ground, by the way. Once again, that's just why I was saying, like, I would have ran the Cassidy instead of the Reaper because you're taking away your advantage there. You want them to come in on you, but you're S-keying away. You just go on the point, force it, and the damage was done. It's unfortunate. And, like I said, I don't think that Torb was a great call. I think they probably should have gone with a May for the mirror match, or they could have ran the Doom there as well. That probably would have been time to run the Doom is when you're on the defensive side and it's last fight, because you have the potential of a one-shot pick thanks to his and the combos as well. So unfortunate, now the series is in favor of Billing Boomers, which, isn't a bad thing for Uzumaki because they did win that first map, which means they have one more chance here. So it all comes down to Watch Point Gibraltar, and that is a major dive map. So I think that they've picked into their favors. But hey, you know what? So far, it looks like each team has picked a map that favors them personally. And so if this keeps up, we're going to see Uzumaki take this map. I'm curious to see if they're going to run the Winston or the ball here. Personally, I think they're going to run the ball here. And if they run that Orisa Diva here, I would probably run double snipers as an Ashe and Hanzo if I'm on defense. But that's just me personally. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. But Billy Boomers have the advantage here. They can't really let off the gas pedal, but they can at least let their backs lay out a little bit better. So
the pressure is off for Billings Boomers. They really don't have, like you said, it's a match point for them, but I don't think that they are going to step off the gas at any point. Like we said at the start of the broadcast, the winner here moves on in the tournament, and the loser goes home. So that's the crucial thing. Both of these teams are fighting for their tournament lives, and I always, when I'm seeing the feed and one of the players picks Bastion, I immediately I feel like it's like when you have a dog and you say like walkies or something and its ears perk up. It's like that for me. I just stop what I'm doing and I just go like Bastion. My ears go up and everything, and just, I don't know. But again, interesting compositions coming out here.
yeah, I don't think Billing Boomers are going to run exactly what they're showing right now, but Uzumaki is definitely going to be on this ball comp that they liked running so much. The only thing I'm questioning is they didn't really show a strong showing of it on Ilios here, so maybe running the Sombra Tracer might not be the most ideal thing, but oh, look at this. Billing Boomers proving me wrong. Oh, nope. Okay, they are going to swap. They were just trying to get an early pick. So they were trying to pull an old Dallas move there, get a nice little pull hook, but pull pork just wasn't able to find anything.
Yeah, they tried to get the pulled pork, but unfortunately, it seems Uzumaki are vegan. As now we get into dive proper with Billings Boomers going on to pretty much what you consider the regular dive as Brig, the first to fall to the Winston. Winston's going to go very, very low, but still stay alive, crucially getting some healing over to their Ana and their Brig. So now 40% for the Nano Blade. And the manual hack onto the Diva is huge, but N2X still going to fall, and that Diva is not D-Mac. That's huge there. The Sombra is putting in work in these manual hacks, but cannot find those picks off of it, and Billings Boomers are just rolling through.
Yeah. Like I said, the coordination right now just doesn't seem like this comp will be strong enough for them. And they have EMP up, which means they can stop any ult coming out from the Billing Boomers, but they have the Nano Blade coming out, so they better make sure Bolt doesn't pop it too early, because then it will be doom for the Uzumaki clan themselves coming up in this next fight here. Now, the high ground taken from them is amazing call out, but it might be a little premature where the Ana is currently.
Yeah, that Ana's position is aggressive. We'll have to see if it pans out, or if it's just going to be absolutely horrible there. The EMP thrown out just to counter the Winston, and it will work partially there. Pulse Bomb does catch the Genji, so we're not going to see a Nano Blade come out. The Nano actually went on to the Winston. The anti-nade lands in, taking out the Diva, and Billings Boomers are rolling through here. They cannot find any purchase. The Pulse Bomb getting thrown in by Storm, not going to find any picks. The contest comes in for Uzumaki, just trying to keep things alive. But the minefield, the remake, and the rally coming in on the point. There's the bomb come in, the Transcendence from N2K. A lot of ults being used to try and keep this part exactly where it is, and it looks like Uzumaki on the back of that minefield catching multiple people, will be able to keep it steady.
Keep it steady, but at an awful cost. Using both support ults that would be what they need to sustain against this blade that's coming up. Plus, Silvertails isn't too far off from the Nano. All Billing Boomers has to do is realize that both those support ults were used and get a nice little Nano boost onto the Genji blade, and it should be easy second point coming out from Billing Boomers. Now, granted, you do have EMP coming up close for Uzumaki, so if they're able to build it up, they might be able to do anything, but ooh, what a great bomb.
That's actually huge. It catches the Ana. It catches the Ana, no more Nano Blade, and now you have the EMP to try and keep the Genji from dashing. At the very least, it's not ideal, but you could try it.
I mean, honestly, it would be ideal in my book. Be able to stop the Nano Blade from happening in that fight was massive because Bold wasn't quite there at the EMP. I think, honestly, if, Silvertails lived, it would have been a nice little Nano Blade, at least 2 easy picks before that EMP would have come out, and boom, massive EMP catching 5.
Boom goes the dynamite coming out from Bold, nearly actually C9ing again. Don't do this to me for a 4th time, Uzumaki. I swear on the name of all I hold dear, if you C9 a 4th time, I'm leaving this cast.
Yeah, what a great EMP coming out, but unfortunately, though, it wasn't a long enough fight for the support to build the ults they need, so now they gotta be careful. Oh, what a great sweep!
Takes out the pulse bomb, takes out the Tracer, the Winston going to go down, the Nano is used, and the blade hovers in midair as the pause comes in.
Looks like we might have a DC here, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't think so.
I mean, I would assume so because I believe that the codes are supposed to do that automatically, but I don't know. I'm never the host, so I don't really have to worry about it. Yep, there we go.
There you go.
As we see DCs here, so, so far right now, the Uzumaki...
Blade's actually still going through. This is still going through. We're casting this. Question marks all up.
Yeah, they gotta let the fight. They gotta let the fight play through.
They do have to let the fight play through.
So that is unfortunate now, but now that the fight is over, they should be pausing it.
I do believe the fight is over there, and pause it.
Okay, the fight's over. Like, come on.
Pause.
Pause the match. You can see it.
Pause. We are not the lobby host. Pause the match.
Oh wait, who is the wait? Because
lobby.
The unfortunate thing is the person who DC'd was the lobby host. So now the host is. Oh my.
It's still going here. We're just playing Overwatch 5v5.
Can you pause the match?
You're not even holding. We can't pause the match. There. Goodness. Okay.
That is just unlucky there that the host was on the DC. So the host of the lobby changed, and I don't think anyone knew who it was. So that fight took any longer. But honestly, Billing Boomers, well, you guys could have just hopped off the card instead of having 3 on there.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is at this point, ladies and gentlemen.
Or you could have not thrown in the bomb.
Yeah.
My guy.
All right. Well, Carrot is finally back here, so once they say they're ready, we should be good to go now that we do have controls of the lobby.
Finally, this was actually all a ploy to get control of the lobby, just so that we can pause and unpause match it at will. Really unfortunate there, I think, from...
Look, you can't blame Prod because we got to focus on the cameras and make sure we're getting the fight correctly, okay?
That's true, but...
Blame Carrot. Blame Carrot.
It was very unlucky there, as, they DC'd. Don't be mean, man. We did get the firms. Still, though, the rally comes out from Azu, not much there. You do have the Diva Bomb from Uzumaki. They're going to have to use it for the remake. They're not even able to get a remake there. The Diva Bomb will catch the Winston out. That's a huge pick in the stall, but I really hope that that's not going to affect the mental of Uzumaki there, that they can reset and say that was unlucky, but we're holding it. And they are. They're holding it incredibly well. N2K with the double kill.
Yeah, maybe that DC is what they needed to, regroup and get a better hold. They do have EMP up. They got to make sure they get a nice, good EMP again. Once again, I think what they should look for is the EMP on the Nano Winston here, because that worked so well for them last time. It's able to stop a fight, and then you don't have to worry about the Nano Blade, because guess what? There's no Nano. And here comes an early EMP.
Early EMP. It'll find good score there on that, and Billings Boomers will just get kind of swept aside. When you're EMP'd, you can't really do much.
No, it's true, especially when you're running a dive composition. If they were on a brawl, the EMP wouldn't have been as effective, but you know what? It's okay. They can hold their losses. Now they do have the Nano Blade coming up soon, so they can hold off for that. They don't have to worry about the EMP. All they have to worry about is that N2K is going to have this trans. And ooh, sniper with the Zenyatta.
N2K takes out the Winston there, takes out the Genji. Still has the blade, has to use the Transcendence. That's a crucial force out there from the Winston. Goes in, forces out the Transcendence. You have the rally for the Dry Blade though.
Yes, that is very true. You do have that rally from Azu once they do the Dry Blade here. The only thing that could throw them off is if the rally doesn't come out in time, but you also have to worry about Bold getting that manual hack too as well. So it's going to come down to that. Maybe Storm will find a great pulse here and able to hack it. But there's the early hack coming onto Winston, slowing this fight down early, and major minefield.
Big kill onto the Ana from the minefield. Carrot's minefields have just been deadly all night here for Uzumaki. And now Card pushing forward. There's the Blade. Rally to respond, and the Rally wins out over the Blade, and the Genji will be taken out. Diva Bomb coming in up top. Pulse Bomb will take out the Zen. Double hack from the EMP. Just trying to throw it out and keep it there. Double hit on the anti-nade from the Ana, but it will not help Billings Boomers. They will be stopped right here at 92 meters. The Diva Bomb thrown out. Maybe a little bit more stall, but that'll be it. Round 1, 92 meters for Billings Boomers.
What a great recovery from that unfortunate little accident there with Wi-Fi. But Uzumaki holding Billings Boomers to the second point, which means it's a very winnable game. Because it's very hard. Everyone who knows Watch Point Gibraltar, third point, getting up to that corner and getting just held there is just the most frustrating thing, and it happens to everybody every now and then again. So, you know, the Billings Boomers were able to almost get the full entire third point, so it's not going to be an easy victory for Uzumaki, but it's going to be easier than what it would have been. So it's going to be massive being able to see what's going to happen here once Uzumaki finally starts this push. They're going to run that Diva and ball comp like we've been seeing. They're going to run the Sombra, and I know everyone's like, well, why are they on the Symmetra here? Folks, if you haven't paid attention to Owl, it's obvious. They're going to use that the TP to move the Zenyatta and the Brigitte over to the other side of the high ground so they don't have to walk around as far and be able to move and get Zen that nice sight lines for good discord, so that way the ball can get nice slammed along with a nice little hack from Sombra, or once Symmetra is teleported her nice supports over, she's going to swap to that Tracer and dive in with her teammates. So it's a really nice strategy here, especially if you're a coordinated team or you're used to doing this kind of strategy. Personally speaking, if you're going to run a dive, I would highly suggest it. The only difference may be if you're running a Winston, switch out the Zenyatta for an Ana. But here we go. They're teleporting the team, and watch it. Boom, here comes the swap.
Right to the Tracer. That's exactly what you would call getting onto that high ground very quickly and early, just to get those long sight lines, and already taking advantage of those long sight lines. These anti-nades have been huge from this Ana. It feels like every single one is just massive. Already the early picks coming in onto the Ash. The Ash going to switch onto the Sombra now. Big slam coming in on the back. There's the dive, takes down Azu, but the roll through will take down the Brig as they trade Brigs. The closer spawn really, I think, that favor Uzumaki as they're going to keep pushing through, keep rolling. Might have found out support there, demacting the Diva for Uzumaki. Really close there. You lose a lot of utility on the tanks and keeping it going. Really, really good methodical push so far, as not really giving you any time to relax. Pushing in now with the Transcendence. Nano comes in onto the Winston. right as the Transcendence dies down, and this dive will just rip through Uzumaki.
Yes, like Sasuke with the Chidori, the great Winston and his Chidori Tesla cannon was able to do so much damage with that nano. That's massive. And you know, Billy Boomers, they really they haven't done, I don't think, Nano Blade but one time this entire series here, which is massive. They realized the more value using the Nano Winston, maybe getting that Primal coming up so that way he can survive on his own, and then using the Dry Blade against maybe no ults right here. And Uzumaki has no support ults here because they were forced in that last fight. So it's an easy blade coming out from Billing Boomers when they use it, as long as they use it early enough.
You got both EMPs on the side. The EMP will catch out the supports of Billings Boomers. Here comes the blade, slashes through two on the side of Uzumaki, and it is a absolute destruction coming through from Billings Boomers.
Yes, what a massive, and a huge stagger onto the Baby Diva right there. Now they're gonna have to, Uzumaki's gonna have to wait for Wings to get back into the mech and out of spawn before they can make this iron push. And you know, it was just massive there. Now you have the Primal versus the Minefield, the Pulse Bomb, and Rally coming up very soon here. So unless they're able to find a really good dive target and maybe even get a group off the map here, it might be Uzumaki's favor here as they're pushing into this next fight.
Yeah, you got the free ult coming in. There's the Pulse Bomb. It'll find the pick on the Ana. The Nano goes out onto the Winston, putting out the pressure, putting out the damage, but can they find the pick? Has to use the Primal Rage just to stay alive. That Zen Yada Discord Orb is deadly. Going to go down to 100 HP, just staying alive there. And there you go. Taking out the Minefield coming through. Wings finding the pick onto the Winston. The Diva gets demacked, and Uzumaki will be coursing through here, staying alive and keeping this push going. Huge Minefield again from Carrot.
Yeah, I think the only thing Billing Boomers could have done different there is maybe not do the early Nano, because it was, as early as it was just too late there. They could have kept the Nano, probably gotten closer to either getting the Blade or getting the Primal back up after the Winston popped it, but unfortunately that's not what happened. And as we saw, Carrot and his team were able to just, you know, dominate the ult tracking there and get the ults out that they needed. So now it's just staggering coming from both and huge team.
N2K dies early. The Genji will fall. The Rally coming out from Billings Boomers. The manual hack comes in onto Bold. Bold can't translocate away, and they're just caught out. Storm has the EMP waiting. I think could be waiting for this Nano Blade, but that almost might be overkill there.
Yeah, very so. EMP alone on itself should be an ult winning fight. Maybe what they're saving for, because they feel like Carrot's been doing a lot, is maybe use it on the Minefields that come out, or just an early engagement and try to get an early win fight without having to use too many ults here. That would be my best get. Or, because we've seen Billing Boomers using the Nano Winston over the Nano Blade, they might just do EMP Blade with a Dry Blade here. Try to get an early one.
We'll have to see what's coming out, what's their plan here. Manual hack coming in onto the Winston. They can't jump out. The Nano comes in just trying to keep them alive, but they can't stay alive for long. Carrot will go down, but so will the Winston. There comes the Diva Bomb. There comes the Remech. Not getting much. Here comes the Blade, and the Transcendence is there, and it's not getting anything. Immediately shut down. The Diva Bomb comes in, staying alive there. The Remech as well, just immediately demech. Can't really Remech in front of that. The EMP comes out. They'll only catch the Diva, it seems. Minefield coming out shortly after from Carrot. The manual hack will come in onto them, but they're still absolutely blowing up thanks to that Minefield, which has just again been incredible. Bold has the EMP as well as this card rolls in to point B.
Yes. And finally, Uzumaki is able to force the C9 because the Tracer was able to. That's what was supposed to, you know, recall. And great, Bold's getting these early picks here. They have the EMP set up, so they have the next fight win condition here. All they have to do is just probably get it up to this corner as best as they can, and then use it. Oh, unlucky Bold getting caught out by the sticky bombs on their own ball.
Absolutely just devastating there to get found out like that. But you have the EMP, you have a bomb to throw in as well. We'll just have to see how Bold is able to set it up and how much exactly they're going to be able to throw out there. We will have to see. There goes the EMP. It'll find two, it seems. Not exactly the best EMP in the world, but it'll definitely do. Just getting the EMP onto a few targets makes those targets just easy pickings. Sombra will have to translocate away, but not long for this world. Probably, I would assume. A lot of ults coming into this next fight on the stagger for Uzumaki. Have both support ults for Billings Boomers. They're going to double up, and there it is! Oh no! There it is again. That funny feeling. It's called a C9 Gizmo, and that is that's number 4 of the night. First for Billings Boomers, though. I believe this means we've had 3 of the 4 maps so far end on a C9.
Yes, that is actual facts right there, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, like I said, I think we've only seen 1 or 2 nanoblades, and the play of the game was one of those nanoblades. So that's really nice to see here. Now we finally come to the map 5, which means it's down to the wires, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to a King of the Hill map, which means there is no possible way of draw here. And we saw Billing Boomers dominate on Ilios in the first map of the night. So will they continue that kind of dominance coming back onto the Kings of Hill? Or will Uzumaki be able to clutch it out, showing why they were the 3rd seed and not the 4th seed? The anticipation is killing me. I just want to know what map we're going on, because I think depending on what map it is, will turn favor for either team, because one team is definitely the stronger brawl team while the other one's the stronger dive team. So it's really going to be amazing to see which map gets picked here, and it is Uzumaki's pick. So if I was Uzumaki, I'd be picking more of the diving maps, because that ball from Kara has been just absolutely disruptive. Billing Bongers haven't really find a way to disrupt the ball from disrupting their own team here. They probably should have just switched over to a brawl there on that last point, but they kind of stuck on that dive, and it cost them dearly.
Looking at the map pool, we've already done Ilios, so our choices are Busan and Nepal. One or the other. Which is going to happen, I'm not sure, but still, we are looking at one of those 2 for the tiebreaker to make or break these teams. One of these teams, this will be their last map. This will be it. One of these teams has to lose. One of these teams has to go home. And it will be decided on this next control map.
Uzumaki, if I were to pick between Busan and you said Nepal, I'd probably pick Busan. You can get a little more away with dive characters on Busan than you can on Nepal. Nepal, in all honesty, even though you can run the ball, you can run the Winston, is more of a brawl map on all 3 points. It doesn't matter if it's Sanctum or it's Temple or Village. They're mainly brawl maps here. So I would pick Busan because you can get away with dive on Mecha Base. You can get away with dive on Sanctum once again, and you can get away with it in downtown. So personally speaking, that would be the map I would choose. Although we haven't seen them run a 6-man, which typically speaking on those 2 maps would be the better brawl to run. But they have been running that Sombra Tracer. So, that's personally what I would choose.
Looks like we're seeing the next map, and it is going to be, we're going to finish this map that has been an absolute barn burner, a hot, just fire show of a match. We're going to be finishing it in the coldest of places, the snowy, icy tundra of Nepal.
Yes. So, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, ball is, like I said, if I was them, I would have probably picked Busan, but maybe they have a lot more strategies and practice here on Nepal. So that might become it. And ball is actually really good on this particular map here. Once again, it's going to come down to the DPS. So you can't really run the Tracer Sombra as well, especially if you start on Village, but you can make it work. It's just going to be very hard. But in my opinion, if we start on Village, what we're going to see is the mirror match brawl with the Sim Mei and maybe a Reaper instead of the Mei or instead of the Sim. It's really going to depend because we've seen Uzumaki run that Reaper a lot. It just doesn't seem like they have a strong enough Cassidy to kind of, mirror match Billing Boomers if they do that. So it's all going to be, but once again, they know how to run their comp, so I do have faith in them. They can pull out the dub. It's just going to be a lot harder, particularly on the Paul.
It'll be hard for both these teams. We have seen how close this matchup is, bringing us all the way to a map 5. And if I had to give advice to both of these teams, it would be thus.
Yes.
I don't want to see any of you C9. I want to see the round. The round will end when all of these teams when one of these teams are dead. No, we are not having another C9. Look at me. Uzumaki, Billings Boomers, look at me. No C9s, okay? Good, let's go.
But we do see the double shield versus the Orisa Diva coming out here, so that's going to be very interesting. Now, the cool thing about the Orisa Diva is the Diva will be able to contest the point and get all the heals. They're running into them like as if it was a straight-up line wall. And I love the aggressiveness coming out from Uzumaki, but it's going to cost them so much because they're running a poke. You don't rush with a poke. You got to make sure you can get the damage in because all the cooldowns come down. Great boop coming in from Azu, but it's not going to be enough as Billing Boomers are going to take this first fight.
That they are, and there's the boop coming out from the Brig on the opposite team. Billing Boomers taking that early. The point will actually flip to Uzumaki first, so they'll get like 5%.
Yeah, that 5% can make a difference. At least you can go onto the night saying, hey, we didn't get 100 ode on the first map, so kudos to the positive thing in there. But they did get a lot of ult charge coming out there for their Baptiste here. Now, the thing is, will they be able to get a great advantage with the window here? And are they going to try to rush right in again like they did the first time? Here comes an amazing window.
There's the window, but it's exactly what they needed, as now this aggressive style that they're playing is they've just kind of forced them into a corner. Either you stay out in the open and you are just burned down by the window, or you go into a corner and you just get flattened by the rush of Uzumaki.
Hello.
Yes, that was just absolute great play coming from Uzumaki. Like I said, that window was going to be huge, and it was. Unfortunately, though, Billing Boomers do have their ults now, and it could be an easy turnaround again, once again. But the early
rally, huge. The pulse bomb is going to find the Baptiste, and that's it. That's just it. Big chase now as well. This is just, they're playing the Spawn Door challenge here, man.
And I think they will get it with the Tracer Touch and Bull getting the final 2 picks just to get the team kill. What a great start from Uzumaki after that first fight. So maybe that little rush, feed plate that they did at the beginning was just what they needed to kind of throw the Billing Boomers off. Now we get to see it, but Billing Boomers now have all the ults in their favor. They can turn this around. It's just going to be whether the Hanzo is going to make more of a difference than
The remake kill. Hey guys, remake does damage now. Oh my goodness, coming in from the side. Incredible. Uzumaki have just turned this around from what we saw in Ilios.
Yeah, great turnaround. And that was actually really great because they only had to waste 2 ulcer, and now they have their window again, which is the only ult they had to use to win the second fight of the match. So that's great coming out from Uzumaki. But once again, Billing Boomers do have that ult advantage.
There's the window. Again, it's exactly what you want to see. The pick on the Baptiste. Huge flank there from Bull to finding that angle. The Bap thought they were safe. The High Noon coming out from Storm, unless it can be huge. That's actually pretty big there. The accretion kill onto Carrot, knocking them off of the map. And
hey, Storm, are you sure you're not playing for the wrong team, Storm? Oh, I'm so glad my captain has the same name. That was unlucky, Storm. You know what? I saw what you were doing there. You were trying not to get picked, so you're like, screw it. I'm not going to feed. I'm just going to take my own HP with me. So, ooh, but what a great turnaround. Now it's a last fight territory. If Uzumaki is able to turn around and, dragon was
Huge
just enough to stop
dragon
this fight.
strike. Huge dragon strike coming out from Witzek, and they're just going bananas onto the members of Uzumaki, getting pick after pick after pick.
Yes. Well, that's major because now you're coming down to essentially a 2-fight territory for Billing Boomers that they have to hold on to this point. All Uzumaki has to do is get one nice team kill, and it's over for the first point here on the Paul. They have the ults in their favor right now with the Deadeye and the rally that should be able to help sustain Bold to get off a nice Deadeye, or maybe at least zone the team off to the side and get the nice little C9 that we have seen so much sometimes.
There's the rally. There's the Deadeye lifting them up in the air, catches the Hanzo out. Huge their window comes out from the Baptiste. Immortality Field comes out from Billings Boomers and goes down. They need to find a pick, otherwise it is going to be round 1 going to their enemies. High Noon coming out from Storm. The pick onto the Diva, the Fan, the Hammer coming through overtime, burning away, and Billings Boomers against all odds seem to have won it and taken round 1.
What a great first point on the final map of tonight's match. That was amazing. Absolutely ridiculous. And I'm going to say right now, I don't know how the Sigma wasn't caught by that Deadeye. Was it like the tapestry that kept them from getting there? Because I didn't see any cover that they could hide behind. But wow, what a great movement coming out from Bakery right there at the end, getting Billing Boomers the damage they needed to win that fight, even though they had lost the early pick due to the Deadeye from Storm. From Bold. So now we get to see this Diva ball come back out, and once again, we do see the symmetra, but that's just to get them a little bit ahead to the point. Billing Boomers, though, running that Torbjorn, maybe they kind of anticipated that they were going to run this Sombra Tracer comp, so they're like, hey, let's have that, flank watcher 7th man there. So that's going to be probably a good little call here, especially here on Temple. So
already the Torb coming out. A lot of pressure coming in from the Zen. Zen going solo N2K, barely staying alive just onto that base health pool. The shield's not going to last very long. And you have Billings Boomers taking possession of the point very early, getting that position. And when your rush composition is on the point, you have to push it. That's going to be incredibly hard to accomplish. This Zenyatta is putting up a lot of pressure, but they can't find the picks. And Bold has to translocate away, and the stun comes in on Carrot, trying to roll through, trying to get some pressure in, but the damage coming out is too much from the Billings Boomers. They've just taken up position on the point. Something has to change. Bold changing onto the Hanzo. We see a Pharah coming out.
Yes, I think that's a really great call here. Because you're not going to have such an easy dive here, what you can do is use Carrot to disrupt, maybe even force an early immortality, while the Pharmacy does a lot of damage to the background here. It is low heals, but you know what? It's fine because you're able to poke from the distance, which makes this comp a little bit better against the Brawl compared to the Sombra Tracer that they were running at the beginning. And switching over to the Hanzo too, it's going to be major, especially when you're burning down that shield.
Here comes the minefield. The beat comes out pretty early just to try and keep everyone up there. The Transcendence comes in. The Pharah is throwing absolute haymakers on the back. Already has the barrage up, and it will be Uzumaki taking this point off of some incredible Pharah play from Murasama.
And that's a great switch because look at all the ults they had to force Billing Boomers. They used the window. They didn't have the shatter yet because the run hasn't been able to swing, and they didn't have the bomb because Diva hasn't had to do much damage. All they have is their DPS ults coming up, and the tanks falling mid-fight. But the barrage, they already have it. That's the value of that Pharmacy going in there. And now Azu, if they wish to, they could switch over to Diva and maybe try to get their bomb as quick as possible. Ooh, major slam coming in, and Barrage not being able to find anybody.
Oh. Yeah, the Barrage doesn't find anybody, and in fact, the Mercy gonna get caught up by the Deadeye as Billings Boomer is going to rush back in onto the point. They will lose their Diva mech, and the Diva Bomb! The Diva Bomb finds 2! That Lucio goes slow, going to run into a mine. and a crucial ultimate comes in and saves them. Deus Ex Machina.
That was a major play from Uzumaki. Like, they did have to use several ults there, but you know what? Because Billing Boomers did make the switches over to the Orisa now, that's a great win in my book. And now they're coming up to try to tie up to the 75% marker. It's going to be a good 2.5 to 3 fights here. And Pharmacy does allow the Bard to get that ult back quick, but they're going to have a little more trouble.
Diva Bomb comes out, it catches Azu on the... just catches Azu. A little bit lacking there. Not able to... Interesting position for the body to land in. Not sure exactly where they were. There comes the Dragon Strike over onto point. It's actually eaten. The Diva eats the Dragon Strike, and Uzumaki will fall shortly after. Point's going to flip over to Billings Boomer.
And now we're coming up into that last fight territory. And Billing Boomers has this window versus the Transcendence here. And there's no Ana for Billing Boomers to kind of negate the healing that the Transcendence is going to spire out. It's going to come down to whether or not Storm is able to get that Deadeye before the Pharah is able to get the Barrage. But it's going to be massive either way. And Carrot does have Mindflow coming up very soon as well.
We've seen some massive minefield for Carrot, but it's not going to happen this time. Carrot immediately taken down. The Transcendence comes in. The Resurrection comes in on Carrot. Maybe we can see the huge minefield. They need to throw it out. The pick onto the Orisa. Carrot gets taken down again. Cannot use the minefield. Just a second time, just gets stunned out. But Uzumaki keeping it alive, getting the pick, and just throwing it out. 86%. They have all the ults.
Yes, and now, ladies and gentlemen, we are actually in that final fight territory here on the second point of the ball, which is awesome because now both teams, it's going to be down to the wire here. If Uzumaki is not able to win this, then it's going to go to the Billing Bombers.
Huge
But
pick.
right now, the trades are coming out.
Huge pick from the Dragon Strike. The ult coming out. The pick onto the Zen is huge. This Mercy needs to stay alive. Gets the pick onto the Zen themselves. The bomb comes in on point, and Uzumaki keep us alive. How else could this absolute slugfest of a series end without a round 3 map 5?
Now, this is where I'm kind of, worried for Uzumaki here because we will have to see the Reinhardt come out. Like I said, ball is playable on this map, particularly not favorable, especially if you know the other team's really good with their standard brawl here. And as we see, both teams are running the Symmetra Sim here. Now, what I'm really going to try to wonder is what kind of pathing they take. Both teams should try to instigate on the point first and try to get that great advantage with the early wall, but it looks like Billing Boomers are going to go up top first instead of going towards the bottom left, typically straight to point. I think they're going to try to catch them off guard by this different route that they normally wouldn't have.
We'll have to see, as it looks like both going straight to point. Immortality fields come out. First pick comes in. It is the Lucio of Billings Boomers. 2 picks onto Billings Boomers, but Uzumaki's Reinhardt is gone. Will they be able to keep things together without the Reinhardt? It looks like they will, and a quick first fight ends up with Uzumaki taking the point.
And I'm just going to point out here, Uzumaki, not only did they win the fight, but they won it massively. Look at the ult charge difference between them and the Billing Boomers. It's just a massive difference, especially with that Symmetra wall coming out. Now they're going to be using this TP from high ground to low ground so they can contest the point quickly once it starts fighting. The Billing Boomers, if they don't win this next fight, I'd probably give up on the sim and maybe swap. And here comes an early TP to try to force the point.
Really trying to force the point. Good flank here from the Mei. Just putting pressure. The Reinhardt, the first to go down to Billings Boomers. The D-Mech comes in. Now you have the wall for the Symmetra, but they're not going to use it smartly here. The Rhine will go down, but they will be right back.
Yes, that was a great fight from Uzumaki. Still plenty of game left. Now, if Billing Boomers, like I said, would make that switch, I think they might have a better advantage, but maybe they're just trying to waste the ults here and try to get it to flip, so that way they can have the ult advantage once they get the point. They do have no ults after pretty much 2 fights, except for the Baptiste ult, which should be a given, considering how much damage they take.
Yeah, already. The Diva is going to be the first to fall, throws out the bomb. Lucio will fall soon after, and the D-Mech will come in from Billings Boomers. Huge slam from Carrot, taking them down to the ground for Billings Boomers, and the Boomers have been absolutely boomed thus far.
Yes. However, though, Uzumaki did have to use several ults in that fight, so now the ult kind of advantage comes into the favor of Billing Boomers. They have Blizzard, they have Shatter, they're coming up on Bomb, and the only thing they have to worry about is getting Azu before that beat comes out and stopping them. But once again, as long as you focus the same target, it shouldn't be that bad. And ooh, early
huge pick onto N2K on this Baptiste. You're gonna need a miracle here for Uzumaki if you don't want to lose this point. And the Rhine and the Deep falling are not good signs afterward. As now Uzumaki will be getting this up to 99, but that point is going in the favor of Billings Boomers.
Now, granted, there went Shatter. They still have Blizzard. Billing Boomer actually played that massive. Storm getting that early pick was just so incredible for Billing Boomers that it just made that fight such an easier win. If he did not get that pick, then it would have had to probably use Blizzard or Bomb. And now they have the beat, but so does Uzumaki. So they can engage, either team can engage with beat, but if I'm Uzumaki, I'm saving that beat for the Blizzard, because that's really the only ultimate you really need to worry about, unless of course your Reinhardt just gets MTD'd so hard the Shadow finds for your kill.
Blizzard comes out, no beat. Beat comes out from Uzumaki, from Azu. There's the Shatter, a few on the ground for Billings Boomers. There's the Shatter again from Billings Boomers. Just a massive self-destruct from the Diva. The Bakery just staying alive and cooking up some incredible ultimates there, keeping it alive for Billings Boomers.
Yes, like I said, there went the ults they needed to do. Uzumaki did a really great job. Azu tried to hold off on that beat drop to sustain the fight a little after, and the mech from Bakery wasn't really one trying to get picks. It was just so that way they could get the remech so they could keep staying in the fight. But it got the picks, which made it a lot easier. So kudos to luck and happiness right there for the Billing Boomers. And now we're coming up to two-fight territory. Probably last fight if it goes on too long. So we'll see what they're able to do. And here comes out the early window.
Early window from N2K. Early Immortality Field as well coming out. Throwing that in. It will soon be taken out. Just backing up and waiting to take position on the point. Here comes the High Noon from Storm. The wall will block them away. Can they get it? Triple kill! There it is! Storm absolutely demolishing Uzumaki.
And that will be it, ladies and gentlemen. We will see the Billing Boomers taking the
There
series and moving on to the next round of the playoffs. What an incredible match coming out from both the Marsupials and the Ninja Clan themselves, Uzumaki. I was actually very thrilled to be able to post this game, or to cast this game with you tonight, K-Wing. This was an absolute amazing match. Both teams incredible showing, and neither one giving up until the last fight. So kudos.
What
to
a
both.
huge Deadeye.
I mean, just massive. And talk about unfortunateness though for Uzumaki. That wall was almost perfect. It just had just enough sliver of room for Storm to slick through and get a 3K. They thought they were safe, and boom goes the dynamite once again for the Billing Boomers, like it should be.
So close there for Uzumaki. Absolutely fighting to that last bell. Third round, fifth map, 99-99. There's no other way that I would have it if I were going to be going out. Of course, like we said, one of these teams does have to go, and it will, in fact, in the end, be Uzumaki getting upset by the 4th seed Billings Boomers going in. The Billings Boomers will face the loser of Decapitators versus Battalion either way, going to be facing off against a Tranquility veteran in Decapitators or Battalion, either one. Pretty venerated members of the Tranquility organization, but it will be Uzumaki going down in just a blaze of glory, some incredible plays, and some incredible moments.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the players of the night, who do you have, K-Wing?
Oh, that's got to be tough. For Billings Boomers, it's got to be. I'm gonna show some love to the supports. It's got to be for me, Silvertails. Silvertails was automatic on the Ana. Those anti-nades won fights, won just fight after fight. It seemed that Silvertails was incredibly consistent on the Ana and just knew exactly where to throw those nades to turn the tables of a fight. The definition of a harm assist.
Yes, I would totally agree that Silvertails was a major difference. I think overall, Billing Boomers being able to show a more variety of comps that they could run and characters they can run is what truly gave them the advantage here. But I want to have to go to the one trick diva on the Billing Boomers and give it to the Bakery. A massive eat on the Dragon we saw in Nepal, and just absolutely terrorizing with those diva bombs, forcing C9s, getting 2 and 3 Ks, just doing absolutely everything that the off tank is supposed to be able to do, especially in the compositions they were running. Just incredible gameplay coming out from this off tank player. I mean, normally I like to give it a DPS, and I think all 4 DPS we saw tonight had some amazing plays, but I think just the natural pilling and, you know, consistency of being able to support not only the main tank, but the supports as well from the Bakery is what really separated the Billing Boomers, forcing the upset to happen tonight. So looks like everybody who, you know, voted the way of the Billing Boomers got it right tonight. So kudos to y'all. But honestly, though, once again, a great matchup. We do have a Discord tier match tomorrow night. K-Wing, do you know who it is?
I think it is Luminous Foxes versus Doodles. It looks like the bottom says it's Harmony, but I'm
that's Harmony tier. Probably wasn't able to get any Discord tiers tomorrow night. So tomorrow, hey, it happens.
Luminous Foxes versus Doodles.
Hey, you know, it's into school year. Some people have exams, graduations going on right now, so that's probably, you know, kind of time straining. But we will have a match tomorrow night at 8:30, like always, Eastern Standard Time. And I look forward to seeing all of you there. I know K-Wing does as well. It's been a lovely night with you, Tranquility, but this old man has to go to bed at some point. So I'm Gizmo Charmander.
And I've been K-Wing. We'll see you later.